We are live.
Because
All
I'm
right, we're
there.
live. Hey, everybody, welcome. Welcome to our second annual Covers for a Cure event. I am Josh Hayes here with my co-hosts Scott and Chuck, and the cover artist for the majority of our covers. We're gonna auction off today, Christian Kallias. He joins us from
Hi.
Greece, right?
Can you hear
His
you?
internet might be going kind of slow, so I apologize for that. He's way on the other side of the pond.
He said he's in Geneva right now.
Oh yeah,
visiting
that's right. He
friends.
did say Geneva, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm in Geneva right now. Yeah.
welcome to everybody that's watching on the live feed. For the bidders, if you submitted your bidder registration and you had a confirmation email from me, you should be in the bidders closed group on Facebook. I've got a couple of you already in there. That is where you will post your bids. If you are unsure about that, check your emails because I emailed you the instructions for that. Here in a few minutes, we will start the actual auction, but we're going to give people time to get in here and start watching and get caught up on the show. So while we're waiting for everybody to kind of get lined out, Christian, would you be so kind as to kind of introduce yourself and then tell us about why you got into cover design?
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Christian Kallias. I'm primarily an author, sci-fi author. I write science fiction, space opera, Universe in Flames series mostly up until now. And I got into design a long time ago, way before I started actually writing books. I started with, I was doing websites, I was doing all sorts of designs, but I was doing in the year 2000s, I was doing covers for heavy metal CDs, heavy metal bands. So that's where I actually learned to do design. And when it came time to release my first book, Earth Last Century, I had hired an artist, and things didn't go well. So he kept pushing the deadline for the artwork, to the point where after 3 months, I realized that I might actually never release my book on time, and I was already late. So I said, okay, if this is that's not going to work. So I took things in my own hands. Having done so many designs before, I decided maybe the best was to at least try, while he was telling me, that artist, that he would deliver my artwork, to do my own version of the artwork, because whatever sketches he had made was not matching my concept. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try and do my own thing. And I spent almost an entire month on the cover in, I think it was March 2015. And I made the cover for Earth Last Century. And the book launched really strong. I think I was in the 2000 ranks within 10 days. So I thought, okay, maybe the cover actually did something there, and maybe I should continue doing my own covers. So that's what I did. I did every other covers in my books from that point on, and over time I started doing covers for other authors, which is something I'm going to do probably way more in the future as well.
And do you do pre-mades or commissions? And
I do
what's the process?
do
What's the
both.
process like for you?
I do both. I have three tiers of covers. Usually it's a commission, but I have 3 tiers of what I say. It's something of a hybrid, if you wish. I mean, I'm gonna ask the author what the book is about, and just give me 1 or 2 lines what he would like to see, whether it's a space battle, a ship in space, and then I'm going to present my tiers, which are, I have 3 tiers. I have the simple tier, where you have basically a ship or two in space in a nice space background. I'm going to have something like what I call my medium tier, where there's more happening in the scene, like maybe 2 ships are just going at it and sending, lasers and torpedoes and explosions. And I have a higher tier where that corresponds more to the level of my own covers, where there's a lot happening. If you've looked at my covers, usually they're kind of busy with a lot of things happening in them.
And so we've got 4 covers that you have done. for the event today. 3 of them are basically what we call wraparound or paperback covers, where you can it has a front and a back aspect to the cover. One of them is a simple ebook cover only.
Ebook only. That's the bonus cover. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And then for the bidders today, we actually received 2 very cool bonus editions, surprise bonus items. And actually, before we get to the 2 bonus items, I'd like to mention too that last year, Ellen Campbell donated very generously. She donated an editing package to us, kind of out of the blue, and she wanted to be a part of the event, and I thought that was really cool. And she donated an editing package. Christian, your editor, Paulo Lopez, has also generously donated an 80,000 word copy editing package to the event as well. So that will be one of our bidding items. So bidding on the editing package, you will get an editing package of up to 80,000 words copy edit that you and Paula will work out between the 2 of you. And then also the bonus items, science fiction author Richard Fox, who Scott and I both collaborate with, touched base with us this morning and said that he would like to donate basically a consultation package. If you don't know who Richard is, you can Google him or look him up on Amazon. He's very prolific. He writes the extremely popular Ember War series, along with the Terran Armor Corps and the Lost Fleet series, or Exiled Fleet series, excuse me. And he is basically, his item is, you will send him your outline of your book. He will read it, and then you can have a 2-hour phone call discussion with him to talk about your outline, get his thoughts on your book and ways to make improvements and that kind of thing. So I thought that was really neat.
It's a really great opportunity, and I'm really appreciate him jumping into the last minute, kind of like Ellen did last year, because that makes a difference in selling a book. It's really good at the pacing, and obviously knows what he's doing because of his track record.
Absolutely. And the last thing that we're going to be auctioning off today, or one of the last things, the bonus item, is a cover, book cover from Gentry Race. We met him at 20 Books to Vegas 2017. He watches the show often, and he touched base with us and said he wanted to also donate to the cause. So his book cover will be auctioned off as well. And I think it's going to be a fun time today. It's going to be a good deal. We are donating all of the proceeds to
the American Diabetes Association.
The American Diabetes Association. My mom has diabetes, and she's been dealing with that for several years. And Scott's son also has diabetes. Did you want to talk about that a little bit, Scott?
I'm sure, if we're here for that part. So the reason we're doing this is obviously, like we said, to raise money for the American Diabetes Association. They fund research. They also fund some services where they help make sure that healthcare professionals have the most current information on the technology available to treat diabetes. So I did a video. I won't go on too long, but my son, he came down with diabetes when he was 7. So if you ever had a 7-year-old or a child that has diabetes type 1, you got to give them injection therapy and check their blood sugar. And he was obviously, it was almost better that he was so young, because that's the way he grew up, and he's always been really good at it. But through the course of it, if you have a child that comes down with diabetes or whatever, however you want to say it, you won't usually wind up in the emergency room. They'll wind up being stuck there for a week or 2. While they get things under control, and then they're sent all these teaching how to deal with it. And usually acting insulin.
You're breaking up just a little bit, Scott. Is it me, or is it
he's breaking up for me as well.
Okay, is that better?
You still sound slightly like a robot, but
okay. Well, I'll be short. Basically, on the pump.
No, it's still breaking up.
Okay,
That's no good.
this can go.
That's weird. You usually never have a problem with that. That's very strange.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's been fine the whole pre-show.
So I'm not sure what's wrong with Scott's connection, but we'll press on regardless. He posted a very good video the other day talking about his journey with his son through there, finding out that he was diabetic, and then kind of going through all the process to get him regulated with his insulin and all that. And it was a very good story. If you ever get 5 minutes, check out our Keystroke Medium Facebook group, and the videos in there. So just a big shout out to our Keystroke Medium fans that are here every week and support us and come on their group and hang out with us. All this stuff wouldn't have been possible if we didn't have audience and fans like you guys coming and hang out with us every week. Thanks for supporting and sharing this event around and getting eyeballs on it. And I think it's going to be a really good event. So how it's going to work is I will share the first cover here in a couple of minutes. I have some bidders that have hit the bidding group and have registered. So if you are a bidder, please make sure that you're on the bidders page, as we're going to get ready to start here in just a few minutes. And that way you don't miss out on getting your bid in. So I'm going to find the first item here. And just FYI, they are going to be listed in order. So there's four Christian Kallias covers, one race, and then we'll do all of Christian's covers, and then we'll do the editing package, and then we will do the cover for Gentry race, and then we'll do the Richard Fox consult. So we'll do it in that order, just so everyone knows. So the first one is going to be Christian Kallias 1, and this I am positive that he sent me the version with the words on it, but for some reason I can't find it today. I've been looking for hours, but I can't find it. So this one does not have the title and author placeholder deals, but you'll get the idea when you see it. So this is Christian Kallias 1. I am going to share it on my screen now, and then for the bidders, I am creating a post in the closed bidders group, and if you would like to bid on this cover, you can do. Oh crap, hold on, I hit the wrong button. Let me show
My
that.
fault.
There we go. Okay, now it's back up there, and now I will create the post in Facebook. Close, and this is this one. Okay, the post is in the bidders group now, so if you'd like to bid on this, please post your bids, and you just have to post the number, the amount that you want to bid in your comment. You don't have to post anything other than that. Just post the amount you want to bid, and we'll go from there. So Christian, do you want to talk a little bit about what level this would normally be for a commission, and what kind of goes into doing something like this?
Sure. So this would be what I call probably my medium tier, because there's not that much action happening, but there's still a lot of elements in the picture. You have a detailed background. There's an entire asteroid field. You have a fleet of ships in there. And what I wanted to do with this one was a contrast of cold and warm colors. So you have a colder part in the lower part of the image, where everything is more into the blue, a bit of purple tones. And as the ship, they're pretty much going through something more warmer. You have like a planet or a sun exploding in the background, and everything is more into the warm. I really wanted to play with having both the blue shades and the red shades of in this picture. Other than that, the fleet is quite simple. I mean, they're just all flying in one direction. But I thought that was actually an interesting angle. So that's what I did.
It's extremely dynamic, and I see when I look at this, I see that it's set up well for the type, for the author name within the graphic. Not only does it have to be awesome art, it has to be good for a book cover. And I actually like that they're all going the same direction. I think that it's dynamic, and it makes more sense. I mean, we got 2 bits so far. Thank you guys.
Yep.
You know, my limited scientific background, it makes more sense that they would kind of all be going the same
absolutely.
direction,
It's a fleet going somewhere. So yeah.
I really like the exploding sun planet aspect there, and the way it's framed, like right about where the title and stuff like that might sit. It's really eye catching, and it kind of makes everything pop out. I really like that a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I also like I like the asteroids in it. I think that I love seeing asteroids in kind of a field formation on book covers, because I think the majority of book covers, especially science fiction book covers of this nature that I've seen on Amazon, are usually only either a planet and a sun, or one or the other, and the ships, and you don't ever get anything else on the cover. And so I like to see, you know, asteroids and that kind of cool little science fiction science, because you know, asteroid, you're not actually going to fly through an asteroid field, but it's cool, like a little Star Wars feel, like, hey, we're going to be in an asteroid field, let's do that. I like that a lot. So now we've got a couple bids. We've got a slight bidding war going on. And now I've got
oh, come on. You're not going to take that, are you?
You know, and I remember that from last year. The bidding is fun to watch. The bidding is fun to watch, because we're friends with all these people, and they're just going at it. So
for those of you that aren't in the bidding bidding war right now, as it were, Rick opened up the bidding at $100, which is
Richard jumped in.
And then Andy countered at 125. Rick put it back up to 130. Kevin McLaughlin was for 150, and then Andy said, "Snap!"
I thought it was over.
And now Richard dropped 200 into the deal. So
came back with 160. Now we're up to 200 with Richard Fox. So we got Rick Partlow, Andy McQueen, and Richard are all in here bidding away on this one. So good stuff.
It's I remember last year when we had I can't remember which cover it was, but we had one cover that they had fought over for, I don't know, because it went up. It went for like 10 or 15 minutes, I think the bidding did on that one. So we'll let it ride for a little bit while people are considering their options and considering what to bid. Rick pulled a The Price Is Right on Richard and bid 201. So that'll be interesting. We'll see. If you don't know Richard Fox, I don't think that will go the same way that you think it will go, Rick. I think Richard will yeah, and he did. Oh, like, the gifts are flying now.
So now we have a bidding / gift war. Having a great time. I'm so glad.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You know, here's the thing, guys. Whoever wins it, for whatever amount it goes for, all of the money is going to go to a great cause, and we appreciate everybody's participation in the event. You know, Scott and I were just talking this morning. Depending on how this event goes, whether or not we're going to do a third one. I think I was
getting fierce.
It's oh, nice. Richard just put up 225, and then Rick slammed down with 250. So now
my heart rate always goes up when they're doing them, when they come real fast.
We're doing a little bit of, and then it's great when you see the little 3 dots. You see the 3 dots where somebody's typing. You're like,
friend is typing a comment.
Yes. So it's really cool to see people, you know, want to put want to put their money in on a cover, but also wanting to put their money in on a cover for a good cause. So
yeah, and community, you know, thing is everybody that's bidding are all friends, and nobody will, you know,
absolutely
get mad.
That's right. Let's see. So Richard Fox is now out. Rick Partlow has it right now for 250. We'll let this roll for just a little bit longer, because we can, and we're cool like that. Let's see here.
You know, if we do a third one, I think Scott should learn how to talk like an auctioneer.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Pretty sure I tried to do that last year and it did not work out the way I wanted to. So right now we have Rick Partlow on this first cover at 250. It looks like we're still having some typing, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a bid or if that's going to be Richard and Rick going back and forth over a gift war. So I'm going to start a 2-minute. We'll say a 2-minute timer now for the final countdown for this lot number, which is Kallias 1. We still have 3 more Christian Kallias covers to do and a Gentry race cover, and of course the editing package and Richard's book consultation package. So right now Rick Partlow still has it at 250, and you know, this is the thing about this event, and what I forgot about how exciting it was last time is that it's very cool to be able to facilitate not only the artist in doing this, but the people that get these covers. You know, hey, slap it on your cover that you won this cover at this event, and let everybody know that you not only did you buy the cover, but you supported an awesome event. And I think it's really cool that there's so many people interested in doing that.
Acknowledgement was purchased during the fundraiser for covers for the year, you know, and show people you're not just a writer, you're helping people out back. You know?
And now they've transferred their war from the bidders group to the YouTube chat. So
well, the live chat, you know,
rowdy people. So we got 30 seconds left on the countdown for this first cover. It right now Rick Partlow has it for 250, and once the timer runs out, then we'll lock in that bid. I remember last year we had one that we were about to lock in, and then somebody got their bid in like right at the end of the thing. So maybe we'll have some shenanigans like that.
Strategy.
So it's all strategy. It's all strategy.
Just like on eBay, like you wait until the last second and do your bid.
That's right. Okay, well that's the time for the bid. So Rick, you have won that item. Congratulations to Rick and all the other bidders. Thank you for bidding. Rick, you've won that first lot for 250.
Rick Partlow.
And we will, and this I should have said this earlier, I might have, but so the winners of these items, we will connect you with Christian after the show with email addresses so you can work out title,
layouts, titles, all that typography, everything, anything that they need, absolutely.
Right. Okay, so let's move right along here. We're going to do the second cover. This is Kallias 2.
Did you just answer Ethan's questions? I'm sorry.
Let's see. This cover comes with custom. Yes, all the covers. So all that cover didn't have the layout on it. For some reason, I couldn't find that image. But all the covers do come with custom text layout and all that stuff that you can work out with Christian after the fact. So, all right. So here's the next one. This is actually a reversible cover that I didn't realize until Christian told me.
Yes.
So this is Kallias 2. And I'll share it right now on the feed. This is Kallias 2. It is reversible, so the ships on the left and the right can be flip-flopped. And so I am going to I'm going to start a new bid item in the
That's a great idea
for the
because
bidders.
you have more customized.
That's actually really smart.
Yeah. Good deal. I like the colors.
They really do pop in this one. So Kallias 2 has been posted in the bidders group. To start the bidding, post your amount in under that cover. I really like this one. Now, can you tell us a little bit about because you have different levels of how you put together covers. So tell us a little bit about this one.
That would be a high tier because there's a lot going on. Not only you have all the ships flying, and you have that squadron of starfighters attacking the main ship on the right side of the cover, but you have another scene on the left side, like other ships battling, some of it outside of the frame of the camera, but you know that there's a battle going on there as well. And my thinking for this one was, what's neat would be to have the squadron fly really near the ship, which is what I tried to do on the right side, and on the left side you have a little bit of more of a farther camera, if you wish. And I was thinking that can work very well for a paperback, but what can happen for this one is that if you're going to write a series or 2 books or 3 books or whatever, then you can pretty much have like 2 covers. You can just start, you choose which side you like best, and you start and you have your first ebook cover, and you can do the opposite. I mean, and get the other part for another cover. That was my thinking for making this one.
So it's like kind of like a 2-for-1.
Yeah,
It's kind of a 2-for-1. This one is kind of a 2-for-1 because I gave a lot of details on the left side, thinking that could also be used as a cover.
yeah.
So,
I like that a lot.
Smart.
if somebody wins this one, you're going to offer them to versions of that, or
Well, if they want to use both sides, I can put the titles on both. That's not a problem. That's not going to take me that much time.
the bidding is just going pretty nuts.
Bidding is going crazy on this one, yeah.
So those of you that aren't in the bidders group, Kevin McLaughlin opened out at $100. It quickly skyrocketed from there. It's gone kind of back and forth a little bit, and right now we're sitting at Andy McQueen at 300. Rick said, "Mother puss bucket, I'm out."
You can't win them all. And technically, you could.
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, went back and forth between Andy and Kevin. Right now, it's sitting at Andy McQueen at $300. So that's really cool.
That's a pretty good deal. 2-for-1.
Yeah, I was gonna say with
both
double, to use it as 2 covers. I mean, that's a value.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
I mean, your ROI is automatically on your second book is going to be fantastic because.
So if I was this has a book title there, if I was writing to win this, my book title would be Jedi Josh.
And then the second one, Sith Moon.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Sith Moon.
Sith Moon, the author, the Sith. So yeah, that's
awesome.
I love it. So
and then the manly bounty hunter would be to wrap up the trilogy. It'd be the manly bounty,
Manly Lorian.
That's right.
The manly Lorian. There you go. You got to be a Star Wars fan to get that one, I guess.
That's fantastic. I really like the blue, and the blue is my favorite color anyway. But I really do like the blue in that.
Well, and the gold and the explosions, the blue and gold contrast well enough that it really kind of makes the explosions pop off the page, and it gives it a lot of action feeling, a lot of motion.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
I love it. As a matter of fact, if I won this, I would have it like painted on the hood of my car.
Yeah, really. I mean, I would just frame it and stick it on a wall in my office. I mean, it's just beautiful. Both of them, really. They're both gorgeous.
I like the texture in the font of the book title. How do you? Because I've seen some that don't do texture inside the font, and I'm nowhere near a Photoshop genius, but I do play around with it. But how do you make the textures in the titles like that?
These are usually when I do typography, so I do everything inside Photoshop. So it's gonna be with the styles. Basically, I'm gonna add styles inside the layer. So the layer where you have the text, I'm gonna go and add effects. I'm gonna put a bevel here. I'm gonna put a gradient there. Obviously, on this one, there's what's it called? Texture, I think texture overlay. So there's a texture overlay that gives you that little texture inside the the letters. So you can play, you can mix and match with all these options and dials and whatnot, and actually do a lot of effects on text.
Do you take, so I know that you're going to help with the typography and you're going to work with the author on that. If the author has a different font that they want to use, would that be okay?
Sure.
As long as you don't have to pay for it extra.
No, that's yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they have, let's say they buy, of course, because let's say they buy the covers for a running series and they already have their branding, I'm going to match their branding as long as they give me what I need to do it. Meaning, if they have the fonts and whatever effects. Now, if they use somebody external for it and that person doesn't want to share their layers and how they did their stuff, because that can happen, then it would be better served taking the image without the titles, going to the typography guy and matching it to their own branding. But as long as I can, if I can do it, there's no problem for me doing it for them. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, well, it looks like the bidding has paused, so I'm going to run a 60-second countdown just to finish out this item. So this is Christian Kallias 2. Right now, the bidding, the winner, the lead bid right now, rather, is Andy McQuain at $300. He beat out Kevin McLaughlin at $275, and I don't know where Rick did up, but Rick was not very happy about it. I'll just tell you right now.
I think that's really a 150 cover times 2, because it's 2 covers.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're getting a good deal. If I had to sell that cover directly to an author, I would go $750. So you're getting a good deal at $300.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't really say that in the beginning. That might have been good to know. So people are getting a good deal.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I love it.
The first one would have been around 500, and the next one is also a high tier, so that's $750. Yeah, with everything. When I do a package like that, I'm gonna do the paperback. I'm gonna do their ebook, and if they need, I can do them. I can recenter or reframe or do images for their when I do my own covers. I can also do the ad stuff, like if you need something for Facebook or stuff like that.
Oh, that's
usually in my price. I usually put that in. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to stop the auction for number 2, and the winner will be Andy McQuain for $300. Congratulations, Andy, on your
Andy
win.
As soon as the bidding closed, he upbidded himself.
And then he upped it again.
Ask him is he serious about that? Because he just
we should just charge him. We should just charge him the higher one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Andy McQuain just won against himself. So
he upped the bid to 325. So I don't know if that's.
We'll leave it at 300. It's no big deal. So that was 300 for Kallias 2, and congratulations, Andy. That is very cool. Okay, so now we're gonna do Christian Kallias number 3.
Andy says, Andy in the chat says it's because Chris said what he really charges. So
gotcha.
Wow,
that's nice.
So this one is my personal favorite out of.
That's my favorite too. That's my favorite too
out of the covers. That's why I did it last, because I'm a.
Okay.
I can do.
That's the one I did first, actually. That's the one I gave you first. But yeah, absolutely.
When I first approached Christian about doing this event, first of all, he was excited. But then when he showed me this cover, and I'm going to share it with you in a second, but I'm going to give you a little bit of time to think about this. So when he showed me this cover, I almost dropped my phone. I thought it was so good.
I thought you were going to say you dropped something else.
Yeah, this cover is by far my favorite of the covers of the event today. It's also one of my all-time favorites. And if I could bid, which I can't because of reasons, I would bid all my money on this cover. So here is the
I'd outbid you by
third.
$1.
This is you'd outbid me by $1. He'd wait till it's so. This is lot Kallias 3. I am getting ready to put it in the Facebook bidding group now. This cover is phenomenal. I love the color of not only but also the cover, the color of the font and kind of how it looks metallic-y. if that's the
Yes,
word that I can
chromey,
use.
actually. It's almost like a
Yeah.
chrome. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
So,
a blue chrome.
Kallias 3, the lot for Kallias 3 is now in the bidders group for bidding, so you can start your bidding on that. This is, again, one of your top tier.
Yeah, that's one of my
covers.
top tiers. Yeah, yeah. There's a tremendous amount of work that's been done on just the explosion part and the ship flying through the explosion. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the modeling that goes into this. So do you hand paint these, or these 3D rendered models, or
they're 3D rendered models. So they're 3D rendered models. I do everything. I'm gonna assemble the scene. I'm gonna do the backgrounds. I'm gonna work on colors, on everything, the special effects. But I use models that are already made. I would absolutely love to do my own models, but that's a lot of work. And as you know, I'm also writing books, so there's like that thing called time that usually
never have enough of it.
Exactly. That's the main thing. But that's something for hopefully for the future that I would really love to do, is model my own ships. But for this cover, what gave me the inspiration is actually a Babylon 5 episode and scene. At one point, they're fighting to defend. Which one is it? It might be in the beginning, or it might be during the war. I think it's during the war, when Sheridan goes back to Earth, try to reclaim Earth, and his ship is about to collide with a satellite that's about to fire on Earth, because the president, before killing himself, put all the satellites on Earth to fire on them, and his ship is about to collide with a satellite, and an Earth Alliance ship comes in, fires at the satellite, it blows up, and Sheridan's ship flies through the flames. So that's kind of I'd say the inspiration for this particular image is like, there's been a big boom, and if you look at it, you see debris everywhere. So like, they probably blasted off a ship, and they're flying through the explosion during that cover, while there's still obviously a war going on, because you have the fighters attacking the big destroyer there. So that's and the reason I did the blue titles, obviously, is for the contrast. You have the warmth of the image, which is really in the warm red and orange tones, and that plays really well to pop out for the titles and the title and the author name.
Oh yeah, man! I think it looks. I think it's
gorgeous cover,
fantastic.
And I don't know why, but the font and the way you did the title, it makes me think of the heavy metal magazines from the 80s.
Oh yeah, actually you're right, because they use a chrome, and that's what I listen to is heavy metal. So maybe subconsciously that's where it came from.
Well, we got on good authority that Josh only listens to Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Way to go. You know, that's the last time I tell you guys something in confidence.
Not only. There's a story behind that, of course, obviously.
Like, just because I was standing on my chair for half the pre-show doesn't mean anything at all.
We come into the pre-show and the camera, and all I see is Josh's butt, because he's standing on his chair, dusting his shelf.
Turning in circles.
And I'm like, I wonder what music he's listening to, and then I was listening.
What's great about it is Chuck came in and I just patched the link in and then went about my business. And here comes Chuck in the group, and I've got my headphones on, and I'm standing on the chair trying to fix my rafters, and Chuck goes, "What is going on in the room right now?" I was like, oh hi Chuck, how are you?
I was like, what kind of link did he send me?
So that's my bad. But anyway, so this the bidding right now is going a little bit. Rick Partlow started the bidding off at 200, and then Kayleen, who got a little bit too short, put 100 in, and then she cursed. So Rick was a little bit quicker on the trigger. Kevin McLaughlin came back with 210, and then Rick Partlow came back with 250. So right now it's sitting at 250 for lot number 3. And now they're going at it in a live chat. So and don't say Yeah.
Somebody better outbid Rick because his wife's going to kill him. So.
First of all, I just want to point this out that Gentry Davidson likes Taylor Swift too. So all you guys that are haters,
I like Taylor Swift. I'm not. I just threw that out there to make you explain.
I don't know.
My wife
ever
even
heard a
gave
Taylor
me
Swift song.
My daughter's 11. One of my daughters. So I guarantee if Taylor Swift comes to Wichita, we'll be going.
See,
gonna
there you
happen.
go. See. So, but anyway, so like I said, I really like this cover. This one was my favorite. Right now we're sitting at 250 with Rick Partlow, and we'll let that go for a couple more minutes, see if anybody gets some last minute bidding done. I see the little dots going. Well, I did. Now they stopped. Somebody was like, I'm going to do it. And then they were like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then they were like, I'm going to do it. And they're like, no, I'm not going to do it. So what I think what we could do is someday like do it live and then hire an auctioneer to do it, and then people have got to lift their little pallets. Like, oh, I got it.
We can do one. We got a lot of auctioneers around here in the country that do the fast talking stuff.
Yep.
It'd be great.
And no, Nathan, I'm not gonna sing a song for you. No, I'm not gonna.
Kind of have a fun singing right now.
But first of all, no one would appreciate that at all. Everybody would leave. So okay, so I'm going to start a minute countdown for this bid. This is Kallias 3. 1 minute left to bid on this piece, and then we'll move on to the ebook only cover, which is still a fantastic cover. I like the ebook cover.
They're all excellent.
And just so you know, I mean, you can use this ebook cover on a paperback. It's just not a wraparound image. So exactly. It won't go back to your back cover if you do a paperback, but you still could use it. So 30 seconds left on the bid. Right now, Rick has it at 250. Should we call? Let's find Rick's wife and send her a message. And see
hey, do you know where your husband is? He's doing something.
Do you know what Rick's doing right now? You might want to go into the computer room and check. He's on his phone, but he's like hiding it from everybody, like sitting, like just being really sneaky with it.
Spend it all. Spend it all. For a good cause.
Yeah, that's for good. Just tell her, Rick. It's for a good cause. It's good. So, all right, the time's done, and Rick has pulled that one off.
Man, Rick's cleaning up today.
He's cleaning up, man. Very cool. So,
at the speed he writes, he'll have a whole new series out before the end of the month with brand new book covers.
That's right. Okay, so that lot, Christian Kallias 3 is going to Rick Partlow for 250, and we'll get that written down in our doc. Thank you very much, my wonderful assistants that are doing that for me now. And okay, so now we'll move on to the ebook only cover, which is lot Kallias 4. This one reminds me of a Battlestar Galactica episode, and I'm not really sure why, but it's pretty neat. So here you go. Here is the Kallias 4. This is the ebook.
I like that one.
Ebook cover. Like I said, it can be a paperback cover. It's just not the wraparound type image that you would see on a paperback. So I'm going to drop that into the bidders
story half written already. Just looking at that book cover. I like book covers that inspire me.
I love book covers and audiobooks, man. That's my crack. So this is Kallias number 4 is posted in the bidders group now. If you'd like to bid, go and bid now. So is there a difference in process, Christian, when you're talking about doing a wraparound image or just an ebook image? I mean, obviously a little smaller, but talk a little bit about that.
Well, when you do an ebook cover, you're framing it for just that format. So you're not really caring what's gonna happen around, and you focus on just that part of the image. When I do what I call a double spread, which is the previous ones, when you actually can go to the back of the cover on a paperback, you have to think about this. Actually, you have to think what you're going to put. You have to think if you obviously when you do a bigger one for paperbacks, you're going to put most of the action where you're going to frame the title and the author name, and you just want the image to continue But sometimes, like I did in the previous one, like you still have a ship there that's approaching the scene, and that's going to be really neat when you do like Facebook ads, because then you have an entire image. So this one would be a bit more complicated to do a Facebook ad with this one, because you'd have to like center in this, do a landscape in the center of the image. It would still work most likely, but you'd have to crop a lot of the image, when that's not the case with the wraparound cover. So yeah, that's the difference.
I like the kind of flying into the sunset type of frame that you have here with the ships. I think that's cool.
Well, you have a whole series, Christian, in yours that are kind of from the cockpit type of thing. You have several books like that. And those are real popular, so I like that.
Hold my beer.
You mean the one you're referring to, the ones that I did for my trilogies?
I think so. Yeah, I remember we looked at those one day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a fun fact, because for I'm currently rewriting my first book, because there were things that I always wanted to correct in it. Earth Last Century is going to be my next release. I'm going to relaunch my first book. It's been a near total rewrite, honestly, and because there's been so much work done inside the book, I thought I should redo the cover as well. And even though Earth Last Century, that cover that I did while the other artist wasn't delivering, and I spent like 150 hours on it until I was happy with it. So I actually took elements from that cover and put again the cockpit scene. So you're gonna have a mixture of Earth Last Century, my old cover, but from the point of view of the cockpit, with fighters going at the main ship, which is the giant thing that takes most of the cover, and you have a lot of destroyers buzzing around and a squadron of ships that kind of look like X-wings from the back. They're not X-wings at all, but it gives that feeling of that Star Wars feeling that I really liked. Yeah. And I'm about ready with the cover. I just need to do a final touches, and if you liked the ones from the trilogy, you're gonna love the new Earth Last Century cover.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. This is a good one here. Nathan Highstead is one of our new bidders here. We got bidding this time. We got Richard, Andy, Kevin, and Nathan.
Richard opened up at $150, and then Nathan has pulled away with a $200 bid. So we're going to let this ride for just a few more minutes and see if we get a couple more bids on it.
I really like the texturing on the title in this one.
Yeah.
I mean, the color, the way it fades to the bottom, and it's got that old beaten look to it. I mean, that's very cool. But then the author name is a lot cleaner, so I like that contrast. Mm-hmm. That's very cool.
I think maybe that's why it made me think of Battlestar Galactica, because the old kind of worn downish lookish type of the title, and then of course obviously the Raiders that are in the. I mean, these don't look like them. I just finished.
They're kind of reminiscent of the original Cylon fighters too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like the series back in the 70s and 80s.
Yep, absolutely. I just binged all 4 seasons, so I've got BSG like stuck in my brain right now.
I felt so bad because I hadn't watched it, and so now I'm on season 2 right now, and so now Josh and I can still be friends, because I think when he found out I hadn't seen it yet, I thought he was not talk to me anymore.
The heresy was strong that day.
I just hadn't have time. I was working nights and crazy stuff when that was first coming out. And
your excuses mean nothing to me.
Mean nothing. I'm all over it.
Okay, so we're going to start a minute countdown to close out Kallias 4. Right now it is Nathan Highstead at 200, and then we'll move on to the editing package and then the 2 bonus items we have. Do you want to? Oh. I think it is really neat. I think it's really neat that everybody's having such a good time in the live chat, and this should be the live chat should save now with the videos as they post to YouTube, and this will be up for everybody to watch later too. But I love the camaraderie that we have in the group, and just for this event, it makes me feel really good that we can do this and have a fun time while we do it. So looks like there's dots moving now on the
somebody's gonna
post, so somebody might come in and snatch it. We're running a countdown, but if somebody posts, we may hold off for a couple seconds and see if something happens. The dots are running. The dots are running. The dots are running. Oh, it was Nathan. It was a trick. Nathan tricked us. So
He did.
okay.
He did. What did you want to read what he put in there?
In the spirit of the cause, I'll bump my own to 250.
Well, thank you.
Well, that is very generous of you, sir. I will allow you to do that. I'll allow it. So we'll call that lot wrapped now. Nathan Heisted wins Kallias for $250. So congratulations, Nathan.
It shows the true character of the indie community that people really want to help and give back. So I thank everybody for bidding today so far. And there's more to come.
Okay, so the next one I don't have a screenshot to share or cover to share, but it is the editing package from Paula Lopez. And Paula Lopez is a series editor for Universe in Flames. Is that right, Christian?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
So I will be editing package from Paula Lopez. Tell us a little bit about her editing process and what kind of goes on with that.
Well, we basically have a process in place that is similar to what Michael Angeli was doing in the beginning when he started to put edits in his book, when he went after the MVP, the minimum viable product launch that he did with his series. So the way I work with Paula is that we have I write my chapters and she's going to edit them as I write them. So that's not what you're going to get there. Obviously, you're going to get an edit from a book, but so basically she's a production editor. So she's going to take my first draft. She's going to edit it a couple of passes or sometimes 3 passes, send it back to me. I'm going to validate these edits. And then we're going to send to what I call my alpha team, which is a group of 6 to 7 people. Yes, we put that on Google Docs, and they're gonna go through, and they're gonna catch other things. They're gonna propose things if they think, okay, this is not. I don't think this works. I have some X-pilots in there, a couple of X-pilots. So lately, when I've been writing some dogfights, they told me, yeah, that's actually not doable, and
can't do that.
Which is great actually, because you get a professional feedback from a real fighter pilot, and he's going to tell you you're never going to do it this way. You're going to do it that way. Even though obviously I do my dogfights in space, but I'm sure some of the stuff still applies. So
fundamentals that carry over.
Exactly. So that's really crucial. Then we get the book back. We do a final pass. I send to my art team, give them a week or 2. Usually it's more like a week, and then we release the book. So that's how it works. That's how I work.
So 2 things sell books for all of us here. A lot of us here anyway are authors. And 2 things get books sold. Well, 3 things. You get 5 things. Everybody watch Monty Python. 5 questions. 5 things. So one is you got to write a great story. You got to have a great book cover, so nobody's even going to open it up, and you got to have great editing. So the editing package is a huge deal. And Richard Fox just slammed down 500 for opening.
So I was going to say, for those of you that aren't in the bidding group, as soon as I dropped the editing package bid group, Richard Fox slammed $500 down, and I think that's payback for the other guys blowing him out on the bids for his cover. He didn't like that. I'm telling you guys, you do mess with the Fox.
Well, he's got a lot going on, and he's and he needs 3 or 4 editors because of our collaborative project plus his stuff, and editors are worth their weight in gold, obviously. So.
Absolutely. And if I can get back to the process, what's absolutely amazing for me, before I used to do an entire completely different process, which was I would write my book until the last word, do my own edit phase, then send that to an editor who would go over it, then I would get the book back, validate, and then send to a proofreader. ideally 2 persons. Sometimes I couldn't do that, but ideally 2 different persons, and then do the release. But then you have our deadlines, and then that's the thing. You have your deadlines there. You locked the deadline in advance because, well, you need to, and when you're having either a bit of a block or whatever happens in your life, and you're like, okay, I'm running out of time. And because I switched to that process, I inspired myself from Michael Enderle here. Because I switched to that process, a lot of the stress and the pressure goes away. And what you have to understand is that because we do it chapter by chapter, by the time I'm finished with chapter, let's say 24 is the last one, by the time I'm done with chapter 24, everything else has been done already, because we go back and forth between my editor, my alpha team, and everything comes back to me. So by that time, I'm days away from release. So that's what I really like about that process.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, having somebody that's reliable, can deliver good,
Yes.
consistently on time, and and be efficient is really good. My editor is kind of the same way. She can do a rush job, and she doesn't waste my time with a bunch of needless stuff. She gets right to it. So
coincidentally, I had an editor look at one of my short stories this week, and she this power presence that I had in this book is called The Tide, and this particular editor is a huge Alabama fan. So every time I had the Tide in the manuscript, she said, "You can't stop the tide," or "Roll Tide." So I literally had like 25 comments in the 6,000 word short story of "Go Alabama, Roll Tide." You can. And then at one point she was like, she highlighted it and didn't say anything, and then in the comment she was like, "See, I can stop when I want to stop." And then right after that, she was like, "Roll Tide," and I'm like, "You
have a problem. We need counseling."
It's practically a religion down here, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Yeah.
My wife's an enormous, huge Alabama fan.
So we're going to go ahead and start the timer for this editing package item, which right now I think Richard pretty much has the lock at 500. And
that was like an orbital strike.
I'm not sure actually who I feel more for, because Richard has some pretty good clean drafts, but if you've ever worked with Richard, it's like trying to pull nails out of a 4x4 when you're trying to do something, and you're like, I think I've got it. I think I got it. I think I've got it. And then Richard comes back with a sledgehammer and slams the nail back into the 4x4. And you're like, oh, I almost had it. I almost had it out.
We're going to do it this way. Move it.
So good times. Got about 20 seconds left to slap a bid in if you want. I see the little lines moving, but I'm pretty sure somebody's doing some shenanigans in there. And we'll see.
Shenanigans on our show?
Andy McQuain! We got 10 seconds left, and Andy McQuain just slapped a 501 right in there and put a true Price is Right on Richard. Man, that's I
think he's going to
really, I mean, I think we've got to do. I think we've got to give it to him for that. I mean, that's
very, very tactical.
I mean, he really played the game for real.
Tactical.
Oh no, so horrible. That's crazy. See, this is why I like this show. This is why I like
fun.
Well, and people should know that a good book editing can be from up to $3,000 sometimes. So, it's worth the money. It's always worth the money. The book's going to be out there forever. Editing's important.
Oh man. And there's now there's a GIF war going on between Richard and Andy, and rightfully so, in my opinion. I know that Richard has his little baby sleeping with him right now. And oh my gosh. So I can't right now.
I'm out.
And Andy came with 501. Richard was out. It took him a little bit, but now Richard slapped Andy in the face.
Yeah,
with
you ever been in a boxing match
like
Mike Tyson, and you're like, you think you're doing pretty good, and then you just bomb and just drops.
Oh my gosh!
So
what a crazy,
the bid just went up to
$750. That's insane. Brianna Bowe's one of our other bidders on the right now. She asks what the editing package includes. I remember that you said it was a copy edit.
Copy
and
edit,
is that basically just a line copy edit? Is that what it is?
So it's not developmental edit, which is for people that, developmental edit is more, they're going to go into, should you change the story and adjust the plot line and, eliminate things and develop stuff a lot more. Whereas the copy editing is they're making sure that what you wrote is awesome.
Right.
Yeah. From my experience working with Paula, I can tell you that if she sees anything that doesn't go well in the story, whether or not it was just copy editing, she's gonna point it out.
Yeah. That's good. That's awesome.
On that note, I'm going to set another 1 minute timer and see, because people are still going to bid. I'm not going to cut people off. I'm just using the timer to move on if nobody else is going to bid. So we got another minute.
The little things.
And so if you want to bid, the top bid right now is Richard Fox, $750 US. I don't know how that equates to like Canadian or English or Genevan dollars. I'm not going to do that.
We don't have dollars. We have francs.
Yeah, francs. Rubles. We don't do francs over here.
Actually
Rick's over here.
Simple. It's almost at parity with the dollar, so it's almost the same.
Yeah. Oh, good. So 750 francs is what the bid is at now. So
Rick's in the live chat trying to organize like a counter strike against Richard. You guys are both going to be at 20 books, and there could be some.
Oh, we're going to have a Keystroke Medium 20 books mug wrestling contest, and I think Rick and Richard are going to be the prime.
That's where we could do this live. With little paddles and stuff, and just get a bunch of folks in there, like a big screen you could show the product on.
Absolutely. Okay, so the minute ran out, and we didn't get any other bids, so we're going to give it to Richard, $750 for the editing package, and that is a phenomenal
for a good cause
deal. So that's really cool. Okay, so now we will move on to, I think we'll do Richard's last. We'll do the Gentry race cover. Right. Is the next bid. Let me get back into where I need to be here. So good try, Andy. I'm going to give it to Andy. That was a really good try.
In the fight to the end.
As soon as he slapped in the 501, the dots started going again, and I'm like, oh, this is going to get good. This is going to get good. So
this is very exciting. So much fun.
I wonder maybe next time we should put like a hard time limit on it, but I don't know. If the money's coming in, the money's coming in. So let's see.
Here we go.
So this lot is going to be called Race 1. I'm going to share right now. Shared. There we go. That is a cover by Gentry Race. It is lot Race 1, which is in the bidders group. Now, unfortunately, he's not here to talk about it. But as you can see, it pulls some similar elements of Christian's covers,
genre specific, and
very very neat, very stylized. I like kind of the angled hulls of the bigger ships and kind of the rounder edges of the fighters and the different groups that are flying around, different elements. I really like that. That's really neat.
Looks like a wraparound book cover, so good for
paperback. It does look like a wraparound book cover.
Definitely, and it would sell some books, I think.
Well, I mean, you look at it, and I like the like I said before, like the asteroid element where you have different space elements. It almost looks like maybe it's coming out of like a nebula or a wormhole or something. You can see that thing that the big ship's coming out of. I like that a lot. That's very neat.
Yeah, Gentry's in the live chat. I can't even.
He is in the live chat. Awesome. And again, with as with Christian's books, these the layout is completely customizable. You can get with Gentry after the fact and get it set up. Kevin McLaughlin has a question in the live chat for Gentry about whether or not they're original ship models or not. I don't know if he'll be able to speak to that. So they are original models, looks like. So very cool, very neat. We're getting our first bids in on here. Vicky says she likes the dark back light, front contrasting the shades of blue, and the deep space background. I do like that a lot.
That's good.
I think it. I really like the group of fighters that are down here in the corner that are coming out of nowhere, like they're attacking.
It's a very active cover. It's very, there's a lot of movement to it. I like how some of the fighters don't have just the straight contrails. It shows them kind of arcing.
Yeah, they're moving.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of movement to it. And I think with a little work, like if you go in and work with the author and customize the title and the fonts and, kind of make those pop a little bit more, this would definitely sell some books, I think.
One thing I think that shouldn't be overlooked in this is it's, in the wraparound, the back page is well suited for your copy.
Absolutely.
Because I can see where your font for your book cover description on the back would pop out, where sometimes it's kind of busy, but those colors look well suited to describing your book and putting some sales copy on the back there too. So excellent stuff.
Absolutely. Right now we've got $100 laid down on the item right now. So
Andy
if you
came out swinging,
are wanting to slap your own bid down, please do so. I really enjoy. I think. I don't know that I've seen the thing you kind of look at when you look at science fiction covers, and Christian has done a really good job about this too, is making unique and different looking ships.
Yeah.
So they don't all, they don't all look the same. You get some book covers out there that use the exact same ship model on every cover.
I made a book cover out of stock art just kind of for fun the other day, and I was like, that's not too bad. I could use that on something. And then like the next day I saw a book cover made with the same stock art cover. And I was like, they beat me to it. I was so proud of my work, but like I said, that's why I'm a writer, not a book cover designer, apparently.
Right.
Yeah. I spend way too much time trying to design book covers.
It's so addictive. You get in there like, oh, this is so awesome. I'm having so much fun.
I finish it and I'm like, I'm the best cover designer ever. And then I save it to JPEG and open it up. And nope, not using that. So Kevin McLaughlin put in $120 now for the bid on this.
Very nice.
So very cool. Rick says he's out. Come on, Rick. She won't know. What is she gonna know? She's not gonna know.
Yeah, because what's the difference saying, "Hey, honey, I bought 3 book covers"? It's no different than, "Hey, I bought 2." You say,
exactly.
That's true. I mean,
I bought all the covers.
That's like when I go to the store, when I go to Walmart and I buy oatmeal cream pies, I get the 12, like the jumbo box. I don't get the 6 or the 8, because really there's no, you have to buy the box.
Right.
There's no difference.
It's efficiency. You should be efficient. So if you're going to buy one, you should just buy all the covers.
If I buy the 6, I've got to go back to the store to get more after. So that's wasting gas. How much money do I save in gas by getting the box?
I would probably eat 6 on the way back to the homestead, and then I would just have to turn right back around.
I won't tell my wife this, but I bought a 12-pack of oatmeal cream pies and then left them in my truck so she couldn't have them.
That's a pro shopper right there.
You better hope she doesn't watch the show then.
She probably won't watch this far into this show. She probably watched a little bit of it. But see, she did the same thing.
She's probably at your truck right now eating your oatmeal cream pies.
Like, I'm going out there to get them. I'm breaking your window out with a crowbar and eating those cream pies.
So what's crazy about that is that you guys like Girl Scout cookies, right? So my favorite Girl Scout cookies are the caramel coconut ones, right? So my buddy, she sent me a message, said, "Hey, do you want Girl Scout cookies?" And I said, "I want 8 boxes of caramel delights, 8." And she was like, "You got it." She brings me these boxes. We get them all set up or whatever, and then I start realizing that like we're going through these cookies like really fast. I'm like, I know that I'm not eating that much. and then all the boxes disappeared. And I'm like, where did all the boxes go? And so I kind of forgot about it. And I went on about my time. And a couple weeks later, I'm looking for something in the bedroom and I can't remember what it was, but I'm looking and I pull out her drawer in her nightstand and there are like 2 empty boxes and the tray, like plastic trays of empty that would have been the cookie, and she hid them from me. She hid my favorite cookies from me.
I can't believe that. I really hope she
but-
doesn't watch this far into the video because
me too, because
I know.
I'll get in trouble for
I,
Diamond.
mean, I
Rat.
have a couch you can sleep on. It's just not very comfortable, and my dog is going to while you're sleeping. But I mean,
so right now, Kevin McLaughlin has it for 120. We're gonna start the 1 minute countdown to see if we get any more bids in that time. And let's see, what is he saying? Hidden camera feed shows Josh eating them in his tidy whities. That's a lie because I wear boxers. I don't wear tidy whities.
yeah.
If I wear that at all, we're talking about Keystroke.
But if there's Andy
Oh,
moving
we got
in.
125.
Oh, Andy did it again, 125. See, and then the dots are still going. So
Andy
this is
McLean
where-
just in there.
this is
fighting.
where I get nervous. Like, do I stop the timer? Do I restart it? Do I wait? The dots are going. I don't know. We're gonna pause the timer and let it.
I don't know. You know, if you wanted to add a sense of urgency to it, you could like open the bidding and start the timer at like 5 or 7 minutes, and then just kind of give updates as it progresses. Sort of.
Oh yeah, and then like
See what I'm
lock everybody
saying?
into a timeline. So it is like a for sure, like bam, cut off.
That's it.
So-
You better
We
get
need
in
a-
there if you want it.
like a hourglass dropping some sand or something.
Yeah, like a counter on the screen or
Rick,
something.
see now, Rick, after winning his 2 book covers, Rick's in there just
Now
stirring
Rick's
the pot.
instigating. He's instigating
He's an
now.
instigator. Raw.
What I need to do is just put like a whole bunch of stuff on my shelves behind me, and then like everybody can just look at that stuff instead of the book cover. So
I just had a good idea. I think. I mean, Josh, you could have the Girl Scout cookies on the show, and every time you get to like 100 level on the
Right.
bidding, you have to eat a box live.
Like a drinking game.
yes,
Everybody eat
Yes.
a cookie.
I like that
Oh,
idea.
Kevin's up. Kevin made his move for 130.
Kevin,
Yeah.
oh nice, 130. There we go.
Everybody eat a
There we
cookie.
go.
The bid went up.
I-
Everybody eat.
I don't have any cookies to eat.
I know. We'll be more prepared.
The
next
only
time.
thing I have down here is coffee creamer, and I'm not eating that without coffee.
It'd be irresponsible to have an actual drinking game, so we'll have a cookie eating game.
No, it won't.
on this one. Or we'll just have it, or both. Drink and eat a cookie.
Yeah,
Take a shot, eat a cookie.
take a shot.
What could go wrong?
So I'm going to start the timer again at 1 minute, and right now Kevin McLaughlin has it for 1:30. We'll see if there's any last minute shenanigans coming on with it. How about a free Girl Scout? How about a free box of Girl Scout cookies with each winning bid? Man, like for me, like I get a free box of Girl Scout cookies.
I think that's
like,
what he meant. I'm pretty
because
sure.
I mean I'm down for that for
The
sure.
host
I'll
all
take
gets
a free
some
box.
cookies.
Rick, that's very nice of you. Thank you very much. I'll give you my mailing address later. That's let's see what it was. 7 boxes, just FYI.
7 boxes of cookies.
Yeah,
What could go wrong?
Oh, I see. You okay. Now you're just being
Honest
ridiculous.
mistake.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Cookies for you. Cookies for you. Cookies for you.
That's what I heard, Kevin. Kevin says Rick's buying us cookies. That's how I understood it. I mean,
so when we get to 20 books, we're gonna have a big cookie feeding frenzy.
Rick, you're going to need a
Balls.
bigger backpack for this 20 books because those
Yep.
Girl Scout the boxes are pretty big. They're pretty hefty. That's all I know. Okay, so we're coming down to the end of the minute, and the timer just went off. So I don't see any dots going on.
Kevin McLaughlin.
So Kevin McLaughlin will take home lot race 1 with $130. Thank you very much, Gentry, and for supplying that image.
Yep.
It's very
And
neat.
you know, this was a last minute thing, and so I appreciate him for working with us on short notice.
Absolutely, absolutely, very very cool, very awesome for you to want to do that for the
I'm down with
cause.
Kevin and mints all the way. I don't know what Josh was talking about. I didn't know those were cookies. I didn't think they were real cookies. There's only Thin Mint. There can be only one. It's a Thin
Thin
Mint.
mints, they're good. Thin mints are good. You know, if you put thin mints in the freezer, they're like fantastic.
Mhm.
If you,
Then you
know
crunch
that.
them up and sprinkle them over some vanilla ice cream.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
there's really no
absolutely.
wrong.
Okay, so
Thank you, Gentry.
now
Appreciate it.
we are going to do the final lot, which is the story
forget-
consultation. Huh? What?
Don't forget to mention what Richard messaged.
Yeah,
us
yeah, yeah.
about.
So the final lot is going to be from Richard Fox, who texted us in true Richard Fox fashion, like 5 minutes before the show started. Hey, I got an idea, and obviously
It's a good
he's,
one.
very gracious. So Richard Fox has graciously decided to provide a book consultation for this next bidding item, if you will. That is an outline, a read, and a phone call. Basically, 2 hours of his time on the phone to talk with you about it. Basically, the way I understand it is you'll send him an outline, he'll read it, and then you guys can talk on the phone about it and iron out some issues. He'll give you some ideas to make your story better.
And having worked with Richard, this is definitely worth your time.
I can tell you that 2 hours with Richard is a phenomenal amount of time, especially with the ideas that he has for story writing and presenting and pacing. I think one of the biggest compliments he gets on his fiction is his pacing and his character development and his actions. So if you're in the mill sci-fi genre or any genre, he didn't put a specific rule on the genre, but if you do,
I wish I could win because I'd send him some dinosaur.
I would say within reason now.
Don't read this in front of your kid.
Romance.
Yeah. Yes. So
there's definitely a T-Rex in here.
There is also another aspect to this item, that if it is a space opera or a military sci-fi story that he's consulting on, then he will feature it in an email blast to his email list. So you'll get a preview of the outline, then you'll get a 2-hour consultation with him on the phone, and then when it's ready for release, he will give you an email blast to his readership. So the Bonus Raptor, send please, if somebody has like the Tyrannosaurus Rex whorehouse something, just send that. Matter of fact, if you have any dinosaur erotica porn, just send it to Richard right now.
What's the Brony, the My Little Pony?
Send
Richard Fox does have a 7K email list, and he has a lot of loyal fans. So, that's pretty generous.
That's right. So let me get back into the bidder group, and I'll say Fox consultation.
Unicorn Little Pony Space Wars, what Vicky Malone's Kennedy's going to say, and that is going to be a winner. I see that.
So okay, the post is in the bidders group now for the Fox consultation. If you are interested in that, and a Facebook post. He's sweetening the deal as the show progresses. By the end of the show, we might have him dancing outside. Yeah. We'll see if we can get him doing a live Facebook dancing video. Maybe that would be cool.
Do something at $20.
So, Kayleen Williams opened it up with $150. And she got in first that time. She was ready. She was ready. Oh, Andy McQueen kicked it to 175.
Pit fighters.
So, Kayleen went up for 200. I like it. I like where this is going. It's great talking with Richard. Like I said before, Richard and we are collaborating on our Terra Nova project, and when you talk to him on the phone and you've got your ideas, and especially this is neat if he's going to be able to read your outline ahead of time, and then you're both on the same page. His ideas to make your story better, and his ideas just to throw into your story that you might not have thought about. He's been writing full time for like 3 years now, doing military science fiction. He's been writing for a long longer than that. And he just posted in the deal. He'll read the outline, provide feedback, and do a phone call up to 2 hours long, do an email blast if it's military science fiction or space opera, and a Facebook post on his author page. So that's a huge amount of work that he's putting in there.
A huge amount of work, and also the discoverability of getting blasted out. If you don't have a big audience already, him sharing his audience like that, it's tremendously generous.
Andy McQueen kicked at 225, and then Kayleen came back at 250. So this is neat watching Andy and Kayleen battle it out. Let's see. Rick wants to know if it's a regular phone call or one with a lot of heavy breathing. I think it would depend on whether or not he's at the gym or not. He's at the gym a lot of times, so maybe you get him right in the middle of the treadmill. Stairs. He's doing his ab exercises, his abdominals on the ab crunch machine. You might get some.
Could be
Richard makes no promise. do that. So Andy came back with 275. And
Come on, Kaylee.
See the little dots rolling. A2. I'm not sure I understand the.
I think she's saying that the 2-minute phone calls worth $200. So.
Oh, I gotcha. True.
Which is true.
True that.
Very true.
That. Let's see. Well, the dots went away. So we're at 275 with Andy. And
oh wait, there's Kayleen's back.
285. I didn't even see the dots that time. I think that's sneaky. Either. That's very sneaky of Kayleen.
She's getting faster on the draw.
It's really a unique proposition because everybody knows you need editing and everybody knows you need good book covers, but to have somebody go and kind of give you a litmus test on whether you're on the track before you start wasting your time writing 100,000 words.
Yep.
Is something that that's pretty valuable, and that's why we have a writing community and we kick things back and forth to each other.
Richard also says he will be kinder than when he was doing story with Josh and Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
All right, Andy hit us with 300.
Oh, nice, Andy. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kinder is kind of a relative term, though, Richard. I mean,
yeah.
it really is kind of relative.
Well, yeah,
especially when you're talking when you're sitting in his office and you're talking about the third book in your series, and we're throwing ideas around, and they're all like, oh yeah, they'll go here and they'll do this and they'll do that, and then he goes, I want pterodactyls, and I'm like, oh, that came out of nowhere, but okay, I'm down. Yeah, let's put pterodactyls in it. Yeah, so I'll throw it. So funny story about this. He's gonna be mad at me that I share this story.
Richard says blah blah blah. Richard Fox.
Yeah. No, so he just said, Josh, what if we do this? Blah 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 blah. And he goes, no. So funny story about this is we had gone through the writing process for book 1, and I think it was off to editors or something like that. And we were talking about book 2. And I said, hey, really quick, I'll knock out an outline for book 2. I think I know where the story is going, so I'm just gonna knock one out in a couple days. So I sat down at the computer, knocked out. I think I had 5, 6, 7,000 words, knocked out this outline. I'm rocking it. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna go here, they're gonna do this, they're gonna get double crossed here, and blah 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 blah. It's gonna be great. Explosions. And I send it to Richard, and then I get from Richard,
that's really
no,
nice.
we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do something else.
Thanks for playing.
All right, good.
Survey says
good talk. So Kayleen, I think, is on the fence about this. 300
Kermit biting his nails.
So I think she's very nervous.
Everybody likes Kermit.
Don't be extremely nervous. So I'm going to go ahead and start the timer so Kayleen can be
so far
extremely more nervous. Andy's got it at 300 right now. I'm going to start the timer for a minute, and we'll see how nervous. I could just picture Kayleen's fingers hovering above the keyboard, shaking as she's like, I can do it. Don't do it. I can do it. And she's got these little things on their shoulders, waiting to. And you said, yeah, those are the exact words about the pterodactyls. But see, I didn't say no to the pterodactyls, Richard. You said pterodactyls, and I was like, all right, let's do pterodactyls. And now we've got pterodactyls.
Make it so.
Make it so. Let's do pterodactyls.
Now we're having a Kermit themed GIF war.
But you guys are screwing me up with the dots here. You're screwing me up. Let's see.
I'm not sure what that means that Richard just said.
Money back guarantee.
Money back guarantee. We're coming down to the end of the. Who would say no to pterodactyls? That's actually very true. I don't think anybody would say no to pterodactyls because they just make the book that much better.
It makes me feel more strongly about my dinosaur erotica themed series, 12-book series I'm going to write.
The pterodactyls are not. See, you guys are missing the point here. They are not in the book as a.
Are they sexy pterodactyls?
No, they are not sexy pterodactyls. They are not. And okay. I don't care if Richard wants sexy pterodactyls. Richard will not get.
There's a line you can't
cross. There's a limit, and I don't cross that line.
Once you cross it, you can't go back. So you really got to be careful.
Okay, so the timer went off, and Kayleen really wants it, but she has to bow out to Andy at $300 for the Richard Fox consultation. Rick says mud wrestling pterodactyls, and I'm not sure we're going to do that either. Although that would be a very interesting cover. So maybe we should check on that, Richard. Mud wrestling pterodactyls for the cover. I don't know if that would work.
Do that.
Okay, so we will give the winner of the consultation to Andy McQueen. Congratulations.
Boom. Congrats, Andy.
Richard Fox consultation package.
Good job, Kayleen, for putting up
valued at it's valued at $1 million, and Andy picked it up for $300. So good job for that. And that is the last bidding item that we have. Very sad. However, it is very cool. And it is very neat to see the community come together and do such a cool thing for a good cause. So right now we are sitting at $2,230 that we have raised for the American Diabetes Association in just over an hour. So you guys need to really be proud of yourselves for that and be excited for that.
It's a good thing.
Over $2,000 from our little niche on the internet and from our show that means a lot to us and obviously a lot to you guys.
Great time.
So thank you everybody that came and participated and spent your money and shared this really cool event with us. We were nervous about it, as always, of different things that we do here on the show. We're always nervous about doing things like this.
But you got to take chances and do new things.
You guys came through spectacularly. So thank you to Rick and Andy and Nathan and Richard and Kevin for donating to the cause. And I hope all the winners are excited to get their items. So we will wrap it up here. I will send an email out to the winners letting you know how to contact the cover designer or editor or Richard. If you're sending something to Richard, please sneak in something. I mean, Andy, sneak in something in the outline that is just going to throw him right over the table, and I will buy you a drink in Vegas this year if you're going. So if you can make Richard drop his phone while he's reading your outline, then
got
a dinner for you. So okay, Vicky is asking if there's a donation button, and that there is a. So I didn't think about that, but it's very easy. On PayPal, you can just send a donation to keystroke.medium@gmail.com on PayPal. Just label it Covers for a Cure donation if you want, and we will include that in the money that we give to the American Diabetes Association. If you wanted to bid on something and you didn't, and you just feel like you want to donate $5, $10, $1, or whatever you want, send it to our PayPal, keystroke.medium@gmail.com. Make sure you label it donation so we know, and we will definitely put that money on, get that money all put together for
make the
donation. So we're going to wrap up now and say la vie to you guys until Monday. Monday, we are doing a show for Nathan Heisted's book the event.
Book club.
It's our first big book club. We said at the beginning of this month that we were going to read a book and then talk about it on our show. And so we're talking about Nathan Heisted's book, The Event, on Monday. So if you guys have read it, or if you just want to kind of hang out with us while we talk about the book, come hang out with us Monday, and it'll be a good time. So thanks everybody for coming and hanging out with us, and we will see you next time. Take it easy.
Bye guys. Thanks.
Bye guys. Thank you.